Hello everybody, back here again for another vlog a day, and today is Friday the 3rd, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got this morning, fairly decent time frame, got up, got my dog outside, all the good fun that comes with it, and then went back in, cleaned up, or he pooped all over the floor, because that's what happens with an old dog, so kind of live with what you get. So but got that all cleaned up, got a couple things done, just kind of mosey around, got him fed, waited for my wife to get up. She got up and we had to take her to physical therapy today, so that was it, like this morning. So instead of going straight to work, I went to physical therapy instead, and I had a couple of things I had to get done today, so I thought, well, I'll just run while she's in physical therapy, no problem. So I went ahead and dropped her off, parked the car. I had my running gear on, so I just ran from there. Ran around. I've run it before in the past too, but I picked a different route this time to go. Ran it like around a little, I guess lack of a better term, like a housing like section, but it's like it's a big loop with like a cross line in between it. So it's like one big loop, one line to the middle to add more houses to the yards and whatever. But it's virtually all duplexes. So I'm not sure if it was built by one builder. Not sure if they sold some lots out of it. Don't know what it is exactly, how it broke down, but some are much better shape than others, and it kind of is what it is. There's a bunch that are very identical, and then it changes and it goes identical for a while. There's a few randoms out there kind of wherever they want to be, but it kind of is what it is. So but I remember going through there before, like rode the motorcycle through or something. It's kind of out just wandering around. It's the first time I've ever been through on foot, and it's actually not that bad a place when you stop and look at it and kind of see what it is. So it's kind of, hey, whatever. So got down there, headed on over, ran by the YMCA, and then after that, heading back around, I got to the end of the road by the YMCA, and the sidewalk keeps on going past it. Normally when I run there, I stop, turn around, come back, and then keep going on the roads. Well, I'm gonna see where the sidewalk goes. I got enough time, I think, here, and I set a timer knowing I only have this much time for the physical therapy. I set a timer for about halfway point, but by running that little housing complex there, it gives me a part to cut off. So let's say on my way back, I go out halfway, and then I'm coming back in that time frame, I'll have some extra time to save myself. So if I'm coming back and say I twist my ankle, or I get tired, I don't want to run as fast coming back, I'll have that gap of that building, that little housing complex right there, to shave off some time getting back to pick my wife up from physical therapy. So works out. Run by, end up over by the school, I guess, which apparently the school has got petting zoo or something. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but they've got looks like goats and chickens, and I don't know what else there, but ended up out there, kind of ran down a few different roads, found my way back out over by the post office, and headed back over. Had a good run, got near the place, and realized I had a little more time to kill, so I kind of went on down, came around the parking lot, and there's like a group that has a heart doctor my wife sees, and then they have some other office in there also. And I just kind of, when I was finishing up my walking back over the next door to where physical therapist's office is, I'm walking through the parking lot, just walking through the parking lot, and a woman pulls up and starts like yelling at me, being really condescending and shitty, which part of me thinks, you don't know what kind of day I'm having. Like, you might not really want to like yell and, holler at somebody that quite so damn aggressively when you don't know me. But starts telling me I can't be back here, it's private property, and I'm trespassing, and I'm like, piss off, lady. I'm walking through a parking lot, I'm not bothering anybody, I'm at the farthest away from your things and whatever. I just told her to have a blessed day, went on with my life. And I'm like, whatever, call the cops, I don't give a shit. So I'm clearly out here for mischievous activities, but it is what it is. So I was like, oh, whatever. So went ahead, head back over, got to the car. Wife texted me, said she was ready to go. Grabbed her real quick, ran her up to work, and then from there I stopped by the mechanic that's got my Suburban. It's doing the air conditioning and the brakes on it, and he is not making shit for progress. And I walked in there and stuff, and he starts making all his excuses, and he's in bankruptcy court, whatever, and he's about to lose his house because he didn't make his payments. He's been trying to get income coming in, and shows him the paperwork and shit. And I'm like, don't care, man. I really don't care. I just need to know if you're gonna get my truck done. I'm not gonna get my truck done, I'm gonna come pick it up, and I don't give a shit. I'm just like, hey man, sorry for you, but this is the life you chose, and you made a deal that you were ecstatic to make and then couldn't keep your end of the bargain up. So at this point, I just need to cut my losses, get my damn Suburban, and then I'll come kick up my lift, which is what I was trading out for the work. So all the work you've done so far is basically nothing, because I don't know what you've done, but how much you got right. I've got to start over and make sure it's all done right to, verify it all. And two, you now have my truck for 2.5 months. I mean, you said 2 months, the worst it could possibly take. You've had it for like 2.5 months now, and it is nowhere even close to being done. You haven't even taken a wheel off to even start the brakes. So I'm to the point of just getting back my damn truck, and it's going to cost me $1,000 to have the guy tear down and reinstall my lift, and we'll move on from there. And it's an extra $1,000 mistake I made. I shouldn't have trusted the guy and go from there. So I figure I'll give him a little bit more time. I'm going to go over there, hopefully maybe, this weekend. Not too busy. I don't have much going on. I might go up and actually just like work on it myself in his shop. Be like, hey, let's just do this shit. Let's get this thing done. Let's get it out of here. Let's get this thing finished, wrap it up, move on, and go from there. But yeah, my gut told me the dude was going to be able to do it, and then really screwed up, which I don't misjudge people too often. And this is one of those ones that just looks like it's biting me in the ass. So it cost me 2.5 months of my life, and hopefully I can get it towed out of there. Either tow it home, do it my damn self, like I should have done to begin with, or tow it to another shop and get it done by somebody else, and just pay the money and have it done by somebody who knows what the hell they're doing and actually can handle it and go from there. So sucks, because there were some other project cars I wanted to do that I think I would happily have paid him to put some air conditioning. I found a Mustang I wanted for my wife and whatnot that I could have bought. He could have thrown air conditioning in it for me and upgrade the brakes and a couple of things that would have been great, that I could have easily done this one correctly, could have continued on. And either one, if he does like one car every 2 months, or he gets more equipment because he's wanting to move out of that shop he's in now, then basically he could just knock out one car every 2 months. Just literally this air conditioner should take 20 hours, maybe 40 hours if you're slow. He's had the car for, it's 1 hour a day. He's had the car for 60 days. He's nowhere near it. So, but yeah, he's not even trying. Because you just donate, 1 hour a day to this thing, or just one day to it and knock it out, twice, 3 times, and you're done. Once a month, just spend one day, he would have been done by now. And I would have happily buy more equipment because he wants to build a shop, stop paying the rent he's paying now where he's at. And I would have happily bought him a second lift. I would have happily even helped fund the garage type thing. If we did like one car every 2 months, whatever, $3,500, whatever, and move on. But shit happens, so it is what it is. So left there, headed back home, got myself a shower, and got ready to go. Had to run over to Orlando today to record a commercial for the attorney that worked with after my motorcycle wreck. He wanted me to do a commercial for him, so tried to do it a while back. Had some downtime. I was like, hey, I'm kind of free right now. He reached out, asked me for it, and I said, hey, I'm actually free the next 3 days. If you want to reach out and get set up in the studio, I can be there basically most any time the next 3 days. And, either early morning or late afternoon. Can't do noon time because I was still walking dogs at the time of the day. And he's like, yep, not a problem. I'll get it set up and I'll reach out to you. Didn't hear from the dude for 3 fucking days. And the end of the 3rd day, he reached out. He's like, yeah, anytime this week after this. I'm like, okay, but I can't come today because basically it's already past the time frame. They won't be there. I can't do it this time. So the 3 free days I had, you didn't do. So then he kept reaching out, and I kept going, dude, I ain't got time. I don't have time. And it's not that the recording the commercial takes 2 minutes, 5 minutes max, but it's a 2+ hours of drive time round trip to get there and back. That absolutely sucks. That I just don't have 2 hours to get away from. And then if I take like one of my dogs with me, which would be no big deal, can't bring him in the studio, I can't leave him in the car, so now it becomes this weird, like, how the hell do we do this kind of shit also. So yeah, kind of is what it is. But I finally got it done, and he just kept reaching out like over and over again. I'm like, he reached out, I'm like, I'm in the Bahamas right now, man. Like, I'm nowhere, I'm in the country, I can't help you. So if I had time, right up there, got it done. Ended up seeing Jimmy. He was in the studio, him and Jack. Talked to them for a couple seconds and bullshit them for a moment, and then headed out. On the way back out, I stopped by a Hyundai Genesis dealer and wanted to look at the Genesis. I've been seeing like the Genesis online, like YouTube videos and stuff, and I like them a lot. But I think Karen wants something a little bit smaller, a little bit cuter. So I looked at them, and the salesman was just like an idiot. And I told myself I'm looking for blue, possibly an all-wheel drive, in the G70. There's the only thing we got. Comes back to G70. It is dark blue, which is great. That's the only blue they have, so they don't have a light blue, but it is what it is. It's a little darker than I thought it was going to be on YouTube, so I was not really happy with it. It's going to be hard to keep clean, but I think it would be better than the silver. It would be a better car, but she don't like the color silver, so yeah, deal with it. Get there, I'm looking, I was like, this all-wheel drive? He's like, no, this is the 3-liter. It's the 3-liter turbo, twin turbo, whatever, blah blah. And I go, I think these are rear-wheel drive only. He goes, yeah, rear-wheel drive. And I said, want all-wheel drive? He goes, no, they don't make all-wheel drive. And I go, what? You gotta go to the GV, whatever, which is the SUV. And I'm like, nope, don't think so. I'm like, the 2-liter turbo is all-wheel drive. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, I think it is. And he's kind of like this, kind of condescending in that whole thing. Like, well, I'm the salesman. I work here, and you said you don't know much about them. Like, no. So I watched a few YouTube videos and stuff, so I know a little bit about them. And then I'm at the point of where, don't fucking lie to me, man. If you don't know, say, hey, I don't know, but you seem like you believe it's true. Let me go ask somebody who's an expert in this field and get their advice and find out. Or why don't I Google this? Everybody has a phone in their pocket right now, and look it up. So 5 times I tell him they make an all-wheel drive version of this car, or at least they did until like weeks ago, unless they've stopped making it in the last few weeks. You think it would have made your cross your board of like, hey, they're no longer making this one, anymore. Not the case. So as we're looking through, I said, well, find me, look it up and stuff. He starts looking, he goes, well, we don't have any stock. I said, are you sure? They have an all-wheel drive version on the lot even. And he goes, send your stuff. And at this point, it took 5 tries for me to argue with this guy, telling him they have them. You need to look. And he kept searching the 3.3 and I said, no, look the 2-liter, but don't punch in any motor size. Just punch in all-wheel drive with a G70 on your inventory and see what pops up. Oh yeah, we have one. Want me to go get it? I said, no, I don't. I would have happily driven that one and seen how it handled with the all-wheel drive, because that's what I want. And that's how I would have been happy to drive it. But you already keep wasting enough of my time in this that I really don't feel like dealing with you, because now if I do buy this thing, I don't want you to get my commission, because guess what? You're an idiot and you lied to me. I hate that. So leave there, drive across the street, basically down a little bit, pull into the Ford dealership, and they have Mustang out front, they have a Mach-E out front, they have a Bronco out front. I walk in the door, I look at the ones out front, I walk in the door, they have a fancy F-150, I think it is, but it's all custom, jacked up with some truck customizing company that they'll charge you $80,000 on top of the sticker price, and then you can finance it through Ford. So it's a great deal. I think they're doing 8-year loans on this truck. I'm like, nobody's gonna own this truck for 8 years. This is the dumbest thing ever, but it is what it is. I looked all around it, and they had a Mustang convertible next to it, and then 2 Mach-Es. Walked around all 4 vehicles, looked around the whole showroom, heard a couple salesmen there talking about what they were doing last weekend and what their plans were for this weekend, and how they were gonna go out and party and have a great time and da-da-da. Watched the whole thing, walked over, saw a manager in the office, said sales manager, didn't speak to me. On his computer, walked by the one little desk over towards service. There was a guy on the computer on a laptop. Don't know if it was an employee or a customer waiting to get car fixed. I could not tell which. Would never use the restroom. Walked around, looked at a couple things. Service desk didn't help me, didn't ask me if I wanted to help, nothing. Walked back out the front door and never had a person even speak to me. So went from the Hyundai dealership that had a ton of people to almost overwhelming, bugging you, to the Ford dealership. I literally walked every inch of their showroom floor all the way back to service and left, and not a single person even acknowledged that I had lived or died, including the receptionist, which was between the 2 Mach-Es and the convertible Mustang. The receptionist desk, who didn't acknowledge that I'd walked in the building. And I'm like, this seems unproductive, I guess. So said to hell with it, left there. Didn't really give a shit, because she said she doesn't want a Mustang, whatever, and that's the one Hank Ford's making that's even slightly cool right now. I think that's what she'd want. So the convertible, and she doesn't want it. So tried to get a Maverick, she didn't want it. So who the hell knows? So I left there, drove over to a place that manufactures hot tubs. I talked to him, I think it was back in like May. I'd stopped by there and checked it out. But I was waiting for my roof to get put on my house. So I knew I was needing a roof done, so that took that long. My roof fell on my house. So I drove over there and stuff, ended up looking around a little bit, talked to the lady there, and she had a bunch of like return stuff. They take them to shows, and they basically, I guess they're used for like a day at the show or 3 days at the show. Bring them back, they drain them, they clean them, and then they throw a filter in it, and they sell them. And they had a bunch then, and those are almost all gone. She also had a few scratch and dents that were, the color was off in the mold, whatever, like when they made the mold. the plug, we want to call it, the shell. The coloring is off. Like, she was pointing out, see how it's messed up here, stuff's messed up there. I'm like, no, I don't. She said, well, it doesn't meet the standards, so they kick them over here, and they still make profit on them. Just don't make as much profit. But the thing that I'm not really a big fan of is when you buy that one, you don't get a shell warranty. You get pumps, everything else warranty, but not the shell. And I'm like, it's not that big of a discount, because the shell is a good chunk of money. If you got to replace the shell, it's not a lot of work. If you got to replace the shell yourself also, it's a bunch of work. So I wasn't really sure if it was worth the discount on those, but it is what it is. So they have a new line, one of the big lines, the big fancy line of hot tubs. They're changing the side panels, all the paneling out for a different design. So all the showroom models are deeply discounted, like almost half price. Like they're quite a bit off their already lower price and whatever. So I looked at it and I'm like, God, I can't bring myself to spend much money. So decided to buy myself one of the cheap ones. Bought a $7,000 or $7,500 hot tub, whatever it was. Got a few little different discounts and stuff and whatnot. Asked for a few things here and there. Didn't want the crappy little steps that came with it, so they took $500 off of that, which I didn't think the steps were gonna be $500. And for $500, I can build much nicer wooden actual steps, whatever. That'd be much happier with than that crappy one there. But so I got rid of that. So I ended up spending $5,341, something like that, with tax and everything. Agreed I'd come pick it up in the morning to save the $500 delivery fee to drag it from Orlando over here to the coast, which not really sure how long it'd take to get here, because setting up the appointment and stuff, I'm like, I'll just come get it in the morning. Which I almost brought the truck over today with the hopes of taking it back with a new hot tub in it, but I didn't. Two reasons. One, I didn't have anybody around to help me take the topper off, and it won't fit in there without the topper, with the topper on it. No way in hell. So I had to do that anyway. So I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense, and I was having trouble with it. And two, the truck every once in a while doesn't start necessarily, and I wasn't sure when I come back how late I'd be. I want to not have to drive way home, swap the truck out for the car to go basically get my wife at work, because she's never gotten the truck since she broke her leg. I'm not sure she could get in or out of the truck. So yet, hopefully she'll be healed up enough she can soon. But yeah, there's that. So I didn't want to have to make her wait longer than I had to. So wrapped up the hot tub plop, dropped $200 deposit on it, because I was having them come in, because she's there on Saturday selling stuff, but there's nobody to drive the forklift. So I basically got home, told my wife about a hot tub, told her about how it went over to Orlando with Clausman and that. Everything, blah, blah, was good. We ended up having goulash. I stopped by on the way home from work. I was running late. I told her, hey, it's gonna be closer to 6 before I pick you up. She said, perfectly fine. I got work to do. So she kept working. Got there, picked her up, and then basically headed in, got her home. I'd already already started, all the stuff was done. So I was good there. So I went ahead and ended up reheating some goulash and asked Mom, like, if you're gonna make this stuff again, please make much, much less, because this is 3 meals in a row, and we have at least 2 more meals left in this thing if we were to eat it, and it could probably be spread out to 3. And nobody should eat goulash for 3 days, let alone 6 days. It's just no. And just make less. Just, hey, whatever the thing. If you're putting in 2 pounds, put in 1 pound. If it's put in a half cup, put in a quarter cup. Just come on, man. Like this stupid. And goulash doesn't freeze well, so we can't really freeze it and save it. And I'm just like, holy shit. So we're spending twice as much on it what it was need to be, because we're throwing half it away, and it's just, yeah. And I definitely don't want to eat goulash for 3 days anymore. That's way too much. So kind of is what it is. So we got that out, and that was fun. Watched the episode of Grace and Frankie, chatted a little bit about things, and then basically headed outside to enjoy myself a nice cigar on a slightly chilly, beautiful night evening. So that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.